So Coach, coming into a new school, there's obviously a little bit of pressure, especially when you have a coach previous to you that had been here for a number of years. What's your game plan for your first year on the job?
Right now I don't really want to make a lot of, kind of rash decisions, or, I kind of want to get a vibe of what's going on, because this happened really fast, and I hadn't slept a whole lot. I think, it would be remiss for me not to say I'm leaving a very special place. 96 South Carolina, and its people are unbelievable and have been unbelievable to all of us, and we love them dearly. But again, with that being said, that doesn't take away from how excited we are from being here, for being here. So I think, not just being the, I'm the end all for all information type guy from the start. I want to hear what everyone has to say, and I will talk to anyone. I'm not afraid to put my hoodie on and go down to Bilo and just ask anyone, hey, what do you think about Lawrence football? And because it's important to me what they think. Those are the ones that are going to be supporting us on Friday nights. And so I think, before we really start making a decision for it is I've watched Lawrence play 3 or 4 times over the last few years. But certainly we never wanted to watch him play because we wanted to be still playing in the playoffs. So I really couldn't gauge that. I think the people I'm looking at right now will be an enormous source of help for us, and we're going to try to utilize all of that. I certainly don't think I know everything. I promise you that. And
so I guess what are you most looking forward to then as the new head coach here?
Well, I think it's exciting. Lawrence has a tremendous tradition in football. It's been a while, but it was 20 years since Greenwood had won a state championship when we first got there. Their last state championship was in 1976, and we finally won one in 1999. So it was 23 years in between those two state championships, and if I'm not mistaken, 1992 is the last time that's happened here. And so we're about 21, 22 years removed from that. And I think there's been some good things done here. I mean, I'm very good friends with Coach Lawson. I know I'm very good friends with Coach Painter. I know all those guys that have been here previously. And, but what's happened in the past, to be honest with you, other than using it to help us move forward, is not that important to me. Really what we care about most is where we go from here. I don't believe in bashing anyone, or I'm not going to ask our coaches to tell me what they thought, Coach did wrong, or this, that, and that. That really doesn't have any bearing on us. Really all we care about is the present and the future. And certainly you can make some better decisions by looking at some things that were done in the past, but that will go with maybe some general statements on, maybe our strength and conditioning, or maybe our this, that, and the other. And again, so just talking to different people and trying to get a good gauge on where we are right now. And we do have a very good blueprint for success, that once we realize those things and see the needs and see the, I know from the outside looking in, having been at Greenwood all the time and played on that field many, many times, from park and rec all the way up. I can remember watching games when Coach Ivey and Coach Jennings were here. And to be honest with you, the team that we probably disliked the most when I was playing was Lawrence. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because they flat got after your rear end, and we knew we were in for a night's work when we played the Lawrence Raiders. And and we knew when we came over here that when we were going home, we may have won, but we were going to have a headache. And that to me is what football is all about. And it's time for Lawrence, South Carolina, to rekindle that spirit.
Coach, you talked about relationships. I know there's several opportunities here, teaching positions. How many guys are you planning to bring with you?
I can't speak for their families, and certainly that's something that when we leave here over the next few weeks that we'll sit down and talk about. I'd just be making something up if I told you that. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some guys. I mean, and I'm not going to let you read these names, but I made a list of 44 guys that, when all this was kind of shaking out, it said, Coach, you know what? I think Lawrence would be a really awesome place to go work with you. And there's some names on there that you'd be quite surprised. And we've been fortunate to make a lot of positive relationships. I'm not a politician. I'm not very politically correct. I've probably rubbed a few people wrong every once in a while because I don't really know how to not answer a direct question. And I just don't know any other way. And but I think in doing so, you'll never guess where I stand. Y'all will never have to worry about me not answering the phone. I will always work with you. I will always talk to you. Sometimes you'll probably wish I'd shut up. And, but I think that's important. I think it's enormously important that y'all understand what we're trying to accomplish and how much, we care about our kids first and foremost is teaching them how to be better dads. One day teaching them how to be better brothers, how to be better sons, teaching them how to talk to a lady, teaching them all those things that if you do, you're going to win. Anybody can come into a program for 2 years, sell their soul to the devil, and win a few games and move on. And there's a lot of that goes on. But there's very few people that are willing to entrench themselves and build, maybe restart the tradition that already exists here, and get those people fired up and can't wait for football Friday nights, because there is no, I've been a part of college game, I've been a part of high school, I've been to pro games. There's nothing like football Friday nights. I don't care what anybody says. You can ask any kid that goes off to college when they come back, those relationships that you form with your high school coach just can't be duplicated anywhere else. And in many communities and in many families, coaches are the last stand for us to truly save what we say what we say on Sundays that we want to save. A lot of times we're the only positive voice that they hear, and we take a lot of pride in that, and we take that as an enormous responsibility, but also an unbelievable opportunity to have an impact on somebody's life, and to know that you've made a difference when you see them 5 years from now. There is no better feeling. Trophies collect dust. I've got state championship rings. I've never even worn them, not one time ever. That means anything to me. What means everything to me is when I get a text message this morning at 8 o'clock from some player said, "Coach, I love you, man. Good luck." That's what it's all about.
Well, real quick, how would you describe your coaching style?
I won't call myself Coach Dula Jr. That would be a pretty accurate description. Again, our coaches and our players will never have to guess on where we stand as a program. There will never be any behind the door. We've all seen the movie Facing the Giants. There's a lot of those guys. They will never have to worry about that. They will always know where we stand together. And again, I'm hoping that maybe some of those same faces that already understand that will be with us. And I think we have an opportunity to build something truly special. And what else is there in life? We've got an opportunity together to build something truly special. And very few people have that chance, and I promise you, I do not take that lightly.
Coach, I know one question that I've gotten is style of offense.
Sure.
I know you're an offensive guy.
Sure.
Are you, as a head coach, are you a play caller?
I do.
And talk about your style of offense.
Well, we've ran everything from triple option to read option to 5 wides empty. I used to just call plays and watch Armani and Jay Spearman and Ronaldo Gray, all these guys. I just call whatever. It didn't matter. They're going to make it work, people would pat me on the back after the game, "Coach, you're so smart." No, I'm not. They're that good. I called something completely wrong and they made it work. And or they checked out of it because they know the game plan as well as I do. So, again, a lot of times coaches take way too much credit. We definitely take ourselves way too serious. A lot of times, coaches are so hush-hush, it's like Bear Bryant leaving Alabama to go to Auburn or something, and I'm like, man, we're just high school coaches that have a chance to impact young kids at a time when they really need us. And I don't think I'm anybody special, I promise you that. And, I just think I have been blessed with a golden opportunity, and I'm not going to waste it. But offensive style, I have to see players. And again, that's a coaching cliche. We're going to run whatever fits our personnel. In high school, if you don't, you're not going to win. In college, you can recruit for that. In pros, you can draft for that. But in high school, I want to see your quarterback. You have a fullback. You have some guys who can play tight end. I can tell you what my favorite is. My favorite is 2 tights, 1 back, flanker, and here we come. Now, we throw it a lot in the Lakelands area. Our quarterback has led the Lakelands in passing the last 4 or 5 years. We throw it 18 to 25 times a game. So we certainly don't want to scare those kids off. Golly, we're just going to line up hammered all the time. We're certainly not going to be Clemson. Not there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot of teams that have been ultimately in this past year. We're probably 75% run, and it was successful. Why? Because that's what we were good at, and we didn't have the people up front, the zone, and all those type of things. But scheme has never scared me. I don't mind getting on the whiteboard with anybody. And I don't mean that to sound arrogant. I think finding the appropriate scheme to fit your personnel is the toughest job for a high school coach, is getting the kids in the right spots and developing that team first mentality of, yeah, I'm playing center, but the center is the most important job we have. Getting every kid to buy into that. That's the toughest sell nowadays, because that's not the world we live in. Everybody wants their stats and this and me. But you can get them to buy into that, then you got a chance.
Coach, you referenced before about possibly coaches you might bring in with
Sure.
you. How many, though, of the coaches that are on staff right now do you expect to bring over to next year?
I know a few guys, obviously from being in this area a long time, that are on staff here, and I probably don't know half of the staff here. So first and foremost, this week I want to talk to Greg. Certainly I want to talk to Coach Hawkins and some of the guys that I do know, and I'd love to give them an opportunity to still be part of Lawrence Raider football, if that's something that they're willing to do, and if that's something that I believe that we can make work. Obviously, when you're a new coach coming in, you worry about potential problems. You can either be part of the cure or you can be the cancer. And I don't know those guys well enough to know that. I don't really know the dynamic of their staff. Certainly, I believe that everybody down deep is good. And if you can find a way to bring that out in them, then we could take this staff right now and win and not change a man, just to be honest with you. I think if you let them know that you're in it with them and you got their back at all times, whether it be at this buy-low or at the House of Pizza or wherever, that you will always, ain't nobody going to talk, you talk about Coach Rick Diller right now, I come across this table. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But to me, that is important. That is important. So, I don't know. I certainly want to meet with all of them over the next couple of weeks and see. They may be some loyalties there. They may have some other. I have no idea. But that's a tough question. I probably didn't give you an answer, but that's all I can tell you.
But it's certainly something that you're not going to shut the door. If there are coaches that you see from the previous staff that you think would best
Absolutely
work with you, you're going to open the door.
Absolutely. And again, I think I think Lawrence was 8-3 2 years ago. So there's obviously some good guys here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're walking into somewhere that's 0-10 and they've gotten all their coaches from some powder puff game in Simpsonville. It's not that at all. And there's obviously some guys here that know what they're doing, and or they wouldn't be here to start with. And so I think just finding a nice mesh of some of here and some not. I think that'll probably end up what happens, but I can't speak for that. Well, I think again, if we wanted to, we probably could take what's here and roll with it.
Ted, any more questions? If you want to ask something personally or just to Chris as we mill around here for the next while, feel free to do so. Thank you, Coach.